Concerning the issue of head covering for women today in church, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4 to 15 has sparked much debate. Many believe that our hair serves as covering, so they don't need additional covering like veil or scarf. That's why many women go to church today without having their hairs covered. Though Apostle Paul mentions our hair as covering, but is it really referring to that when he says every woman that prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors her head? Listen as I will be explaining. A careful reading and the understanding of God reveal that Apostle Paul is referring to two different types of coverings: a natural covering, ear, and an additional covering, scarf. Apostle Paul makes a clear distinction between ear and an external covering in verse 6. He says if a woman does not have her head covered, she should as well shave her hair. This implies that the covering he speaks of is not ear itself, otherwise shaving the ear would be redundant. Instead of that, Apostle Paul is emphasizing that a woman should have additional covering over her head while praying or prophesying. The Greek word for covering is katakalipto, used in verse 6, which means to cover completely. This suggests something placed over the head, like a veil or scarf. In contrast, when Apostle Paul speaks of ear in verse 15, he uses the word perivolion, which means a natural covering. The linguistic distinctions in those verses further support the idea that Apostle Paul is referring to two different types of coverings. In ancient Corinth, women covering their hairs as a sign of respect and modesty. Apostle Paul's instructions align with this cultural practice, reinforcing the idea that women should wear an external covering when engaging in prayer and prophecy. In verse 15, it says, "But if a woman has long hair, it is her glory." It does not say hair is the head covering required for prayer. Instead, he acknowledged that hair is the beauty given by God, but not the covering required for worship. Apostle Paul clearly distinguishes ear as a natural covering and scarf as a required head covering for women during prayer or prophecy. This passage does not suggest that ear alone fulfill this requirement, but rather that an additional covering is necessary as a sign of respect and submission in worship. Beloved sisters, the word of God teaches us that when a woman prays or prophesies, she ought to cover her head as a sign of respect and submission. The head covering is more than a physical garment. It is a symbol of a divine order and an outward expression of our inner obedience. Whenever we stand before the Lord in prayer or prophecy, let us do so with a heart of devotion and readiness to align ourselves with His will. Covering the head is a sign of acknowledging God and honoring the sacred act of worship. May our worship be pleasing unto Him, and may He bless us as we honor His word in Jesus' name.